a lot of talk about injuries around, or players who are unavailable, but there's a little bit of continuity here from the Australia game. 13 are the guys who started out the 15, so you have got a little element of that?
Yeah, definitely. It's a similar squad, I guess, with a few new boys coming in to round the squad out. So, look, boys have trained well in these a week and a half, and as well as we could expect, really. So, in a pretty good place going into Saturday's game.
Talk to me about this side and the selections you've made, because there's some exciting prospects, some new faces as well on the bench, particularly.
Yeah, I suppose one of the talking points is Josh Adams at 13, but as you'd know, in the autumn series we'd named him there to play against Fiji. He'd trained there quite a bit. He's finished games there in the past, and it's just something we're excited to have a look at. And we wouldn't do it unless we thought he could do a job. He's played there for the Blues, so that's certainly one exciting change there. I think Dowie Lake coming off the bench, a debutant. Exciting to see him go. He's been working very, very hard to get over his foot injury and then getting back into the Ospreys side. So, look, we think he'll make an impact when he comes on. And, when you go across the team, the rest of it's fairly settled, really, in terms of what we had in the autumn. So, look, really pleased that we've got back three with a bit of pace, all sort of firing and training. So, look, we're in a reasonably good space, as I said before. So, albeit training, there's still 15 green shirts to be put in front of us.
Just on Josh Adams, are you hoping he'll have the same sort of effect as George North last season when you did that, Wayne? Well,
they're different players, but certainly if he has any sort of impact like George, will be very pleased. But look, it's a position where you've got to have a lot of pace these days, and not only with the ball, but also without the ball. He's strong in the contact area, good defender. So look, we're excited to see him go, and hopefully, the conditions are such that we can move a bit of ball around and get it into his hands in good positions on the park.
Is it a gamble, Wayne? He hasn't played there for Wales before, not a lot, a couple of games at Cardiff.
Well, you could look at it that way, but George hadn't played a lot there either, and made a pretty good fist of it. It's what they're doing in training, so it's not like he's had one or two sessions. He's had quite a few sessions over a number of months, going back a couple of campaigns. So it's not foreign to him, as I say. He's played there for the Blues, and he's really excited about the opportunity.
Given the powerful physical player he is, Ross Moriarty, were you tempted to start him, or do you think for this game, with him only having one game, it was the perfect thing to put him on the bench? Yeah, we looked at the game that he had and the work that he got through in that game and where he's at in training, and the fact that he hadn't trained with the team the first week. He was just on the introductory day on the Monday, so he's a week behind the others in terms of the learning. A lot of work's gone in, so we just think it's the best way to do it this week. You're going in as defending champions, Wayne. Mostly defending champions go in as one of the favourites for this tournament. I don't think you regard as the first couple of favourites, certainly with the bookies. Does that suit you?
Oh, look, I guess there's an obvious reason for that. A lot of the team that won that competition won't be in Dublin, but certainly the guys that are there, we believe will represent us really well. So where we are with the bookies, I think we're probably in the same position this time last year. So look, everything to gain, nothing to lose, and that's sort of the attitude, really, going out there and expressing ourselves.
Ireland name their side later on, but they're looking pretty strong at the moment. What are you expecting from them this weekend?
Yeah, they're very powerful, aren't they? Had a very good autumn. They've built on last season's Six Nations, the way they finished that competition, and they haven't really looked back since. They're moving a bit more ball than they probably have done in the past, which makes them even more dangerous because they've obviously got a power game that they can use, and they've now got a bit more width in their game as well. So, the defence has to be on their toes.
Thank you, Wayne. Good luck on the weekend.
Thank you.
Hi, Wayne. We'll try again. Sorry about this. Obviously, your third Six Nations, the other two have been bizarre, to say the least. How much are you personally looking forward to this campaign? Oh, very much so, because it's a different challenge again, isn't it? There's always something to sort of get on top of, and this week it's just gelling the group together again after a couple of months away, and sort of working hard in terms of just getting ourselves prepared physically, as well as bringing them together and working on the plays that we want to take into the game and getting some continuity in training. So it's been a challenge, but certainly the boys have worked really, really hard, both on the training field and also in the classroom and in the little breakout groups that they have, and they've put a lot of work in, so hopefully that's going to pay dividends on the weekend. We've always said from the very start about your target being the 2023 World Cup. Obviously, this is the last but one Six Nations before that kind of World Cup year. how will you approach this in terms of, hopefully getting the results, but also looking to the future?
Yeah, well, it's an opportunity to do both, isn't it? Because every Six Nations, it's a tournament that everyone wants to win, so we're no different. We want to go out there and, each individual wants to put their best foot forward. They know that there's a lot at stake as defending champions. We worked hard to get that title last year, and we'd like to be in a position to try and do that again. So it means week one we've got to work very, very hard to get a result, and then back that up in week two. So the first two weeks of this competition are critical, but obviously we've got an eye to what's coming up in about 18 months' time, and where there are injuries and some big names missing, it's opportunities for others, and we've got a squad to pick shortly to go to a World Cup, and so that's going to help in that preparation.
Just last one for me, a little bit off field, if you don't mind. Yesterday, the WR announced some changes to the matchday experience for next week. Obviously, you were actually affected this last season with people coming on the pitch. I just wanted to kind of get your message to Welsh fans, because as everyone said yesterday, this is about everyone pulling together to change behaviour.
Yeah, it is, and the incident we're talking about probably against South Africa, Liam Williams thinks he had a good chance of scoring a try, so look, you just don't know what might have been. So incidents like that, we just want people to enjoy the game, and for everyone to enjoy the game. We can't have the odd idiot, and that just spoils it for everyone. So get there nice and early, have some fun, but enjoy yourselves in the right way, and we'll hopefully at the home games give you something to watch and entertain you. So we'll all play our part, hopefully.
Diolch yn fawr, Wayne.
Thank you.
Ben?
Hiya, Wayne. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yes.
Obviously moving Josh Adams to the centre means you're able to pick both Johnny McNichol and Liam Williams in the back three. Was there ever temptation of going with McNichol at 15 and putting Liam on the wing?
No, we think for this particular game it's the way we want to play. So we look at a number of factors, but they're both very skillful players. They're both good under the high ball, and they both love to attack and get ball in hand. So you could go either way on a different occasion, but certainly that's the way we've all agreed we want to go this week.
And sticking with Josh Adams, it's Nick Tompkins who's going to partner in midfield. What's the decision making behind that? So you got Jonathan Davis.
Yeah,
some caps and Willis Halaholo obviously struggling with a hamstring strain. So what's the sort of situation with all that?
Yeah, Willis just ran out of time, just couldn't quite tick all the boxes. So we'll try to get him where he needs to be for next week. In terms of Jonathan and Nick, we just think Nick's the form midfielder at the moment. Week in and week out, he's been playing club rugby in good form and match fit, ready to go. And John's only unfortunately had 2 games since I think the South African game. So, he's worked really, really hard in training and has improved as each training's gone on, really, in terms of sharpness. So he's working really, really hard to get himself in the picture further down the track. But certainly for this game, Nick and Josh are the form guys that we want to take into the game.
Excluding the Fiji game in the autumn when you named a change team, I think this is Thomas Williams' sort of longest stretch in the Wales jersey throughout his whole career. And it's probably the longest stretch where you've had a consistent 9 in your time with Wales. Is it fair to say that you've landed upon who you think your first choice 9 in is? What is it that Thomas brings to the role?
Yeah, we've probably thought that for a little while, but injuries have prevented us at times to run certain combinations. So the 9s have sort of, it's been juggled around a little bit. Kieran Hardy had a good game against England last year, then pulled a hamstring. So, he may have got to run a game. So look, it's just been one of those things where no one's really been injury free throughout. So he has had that run of games now, and he's benefiting from that. And I think he'll get better and better with more game time.
And you mentioned the reasons why Ross Moriarty's not starting on the weekend. Instead, you've got 2 open sides in the back row. Are you confident that this back row possesses the right balance to compete at the breakdown in Dublin?
We certainly know that Ellis is very good at the breakdown. He's very good at reading situations. He picks his moments, and when he does, he has pretty good results. Tane's full of energy. He's good both sides of the ball. He's working hard without the ball in terms of developing his game. And we've got a really good athlete with good footwork and power and pace in Aaron, so who's also a very good line-out forward. So, to start the game, we think that's the way we'll get the benefit out of them. And as I say, with Ross, he's just short of a gallop or 2. So, he'll come on and hopefully make a big impact because he's a very physical player, and we're going to need to match him physically.
Do you potentially lose something on the attacking clear outside though, but not having Ross compared to the back row that you've currently got?
Oh, look, they're all slightly different, aren't they? And what one brings, the other one might bring something else slightly different. Look, across the 80 minutes, we're going to need it all. And, it comes down to, at the moment, Ross just, with the amount of rugby he's had, we think this is the best way to select them for this particular game.
Brilliant. Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Okay, Miles, over to you.
Thanks, Verity. Hello, Wayne.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Just one from me. It relates to Josh Adams. What Cardiff, and we all undoubtedly saw pre-Christmas in those Toulouse games, was a level of leadership, both on and off the field, actually, for those two games. Does his move to 13 almost increase the possibilities for him to show that within the team? And are you starting to see that leadership now come through within camp at international level and on the field too?
Yes, we are, and it's a great observation. Just in training today that we've completed, a lot of talk, and at 13, 10s want a lot of chat. They want that talk from the outside in, and he's doing that. He's also very good at, marshalling the boys if they need to be prodded a little bit in terms of speed around the park. And we're talking about some of the guys with lower numbers here, but look, he's been very good in training, and we want him to do that in the game. So leadership is certainly growing on him.